Okay, let's get right into it. Here's a number that might stop you in your tracks.
Yeah.
Only about 3 out of every 1,000 YouTubers actually earn $5,000 or more each month.
Wow. Yeah, that's a tiny sliver, really.
It's tiny, and it immediately, it begs the question, doesn't it? How are YouTubers really making money? Like, what does it actually take to generate, a substantial income on YouTube?
It absolutely does. Because, I mean, the idea of making a living creating videos, it sounds amazing, right? But understanding the nuts and bolts of how YouTubers earn, it's way more intricate than just counting views.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we've got this really insightful article. It's called How Much Do YouTubers Make? Earnings and Examples. And it sort of pulls back the curtain on all the different ways creators can monetize, looking at everything from the basic stuff right up to what the platform's biggest stars are doing. So our mission today really is to give you a clear understanding of this whole YouTube earnings landscape, whether you're just curious or maybe even thinking about, dipping your own toes in.
Yeah, sounds good.
And the article actually gives us a pretty helpful structure. It looks at different channel sizes, beginner, mid-range, famous, and then those like true YouTube stars. We can use that as our guide.
That sounds like a smart approach. Yeah, looking at those different stages, we can really see how the earning potential and the strategies kind of evolve as a channel grows.
So let's start with the basics then. The article makes it clear, like right from the get-go, that having a lot of subscribers, it seems like the key, right? But it's definitely not a direct line to a big bank account.
No, not at all. It's more about what that audience actually does.
Ah, okay.
Precisely. Think of the subscriber count as like the potential size of your audience. More subs generally means, more opportunities for views. And views are kind of the raw material for most income streams.
Right.
But it's the engagement of those viewers that really unlocks the earning potential.
Gotcha. And the most fundamental way those views can turn into income, that's through AdSense, right?
Yep, AdSense.
But to even get there, you got to get accepted into the YouTube Partner Program first. What are the initial hurdles you have to clear?
Okay, so the YouTube Partner Program, it has specific criteria. Right now, you need at least 1,000 subscribers, and that's within the past year.
Okay.
And D, you also need 4,000 valid public watch hours in that same year. And that excludes Shorts views, by the way.
Oh, right. Good distinction.
Or if you're more focused on Shorts, there's an alternative path. 10 million valid public YouTube Shorts views within the last 90 days.
Wow, 10 million. Okay.
Yeah. And then beyond those numbers, you have to agree to YouTube's terms, make sure your channel doesn't have any active community guidelines strikes, link up a valid Google AdSense account, and then finally, YouTube actually reviews your channel to make sure it fits their guidelines. So it's, it's a set of requirements. They're designed to make sure creators have like a baseline audience and stick to the rules.
That does sound like a pretty significant commitment just to get started.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so once you're in, then we start talking about things like CPC, CPM, and this other term, RPM. Can you break those down? What do they actually mean?
Right. Let's break them down. So CPC is cost per click. That's how much an advertiser pays each time someone actually clicks on their ad on your video.
Okay, click. Got it.
Then there's CPM. That's cost per mil or cost per 1,000 impressions. So every 1,000 times an ad is shown to a viewer.
Shown, not click.
Exactly. And an impression counts if the viewer watches the ad for at least 30 seconds or the whole ad if it's shorter.
Right. Okay.
Now, RPM, that's revenue per mil. This is what you, the creator, actually earn for every 1,000 views after YouTube takes its cut.
Ah, the important number.
That's the one. YouTube's cut of ad revenue is currently 45%. So CPM is what the advertiser pays the system, kind of, but RPM is what actually lands in the creator's pocket per 1,000 views.
Okay, that clarifies things.
Yeah.
And the article gives a really good example to make this concrete. Let's say a video gets 5,000 views.
Okay.
And maybe half of those views actually get an ad shown.
Yeah.
And the advertiser is paying a $10 CPM for those showings.
Right.
Separately, maybe 100 viewers actually click an ad, and the advertiser pays 50 cents per click. Can you walk us through the math there? How much does the YouTuber actually make?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So for the CPM part, half of 5,000 views is 2,500 ad impressions. At $10 per 1,000 impressions, that's $25 in ad revenue generated from the showings.
Right.
$25.
Right.
So add those together, $25 plus $15, the total ad revenue generated is $75.
$75 total. But then YouTube takes its share.
Exactly. YouTube takes its 45% cut. 45% of $75 is $33.75.
Okay.
So subtract that from the $75. The creator is left with $41.25 from those 5,000 views.
$41.25. Okay.
And then to get the RPM, you take that $41.25, divide it by the 5,000 total views, and multiply by 1,000. That gives you an RPM of $8.25.
$8.25. So for every 1,000 views on that specific video, after YouTube's cut, the creator earned $8.25.
Precisely.
And, based on that example, the article points out, if a channel is consistently getting around 5,000 views per day,
yeah.
that could translate to roughly $1,238 per month just from AdSense.
Yeah, it gives you a real concrete idea of the potential, even if you're only relying on ads at that point.
Definitely. Okay, now let's look at those different channel sizes the article mentioned. What about someone just starting out those beginner channels, say over 1,000 subscribers? What kind of AdSense money are they looking at?
Yeah, for a beginner YouTuber, someone who's just crossed that 1,000 sub mark and met the watch hours, the article suggests typical monthly AdSense earnings could be anywhere from like $30 up to maybe $300.
Okay, $30 to $300.
Yep. Right. And it's worth remembering, like you said earlier, just reaching that 1,000 subscriber mark puts you ahead of something like 91% of all YouTube channels.
Wow, 91%.
Yeah. So even if the income seems kind of modest at first, it's actually a pretty big achievement in just building an audience.
That really puts it in perspective. Okay, so what happens when a channel starts getting, real momentum, hits that mid-range level, maybe 100,000 subscribers?
Okay, yeah, 100K subs. At that point, the AdSense potential definitely increases. Generally, the article suggests a range of maybe $500 to $1,500 per month.
$500 to $1,500.
Though, some really successful channels at that level can definitely exceed $5,000 a month just from AdSense.
Right.
But again, perspective. The article highlights that only about 0.3% of YouTube accounts ever even reach 100,000 subscribers.
0.3%. That's tiny.
It's incredibly small. So hitting that level is a pretty substantial breakthrough. And that's often the point where creators might start thinking, okay, maybe this could be a significant part of my income or even, a full-time thing.
Makes sense.
So you see that scaling effect with AdSense. But even here, there's still a big range. It really shows that subscriber count alone isn't the whole story.
Definitely not.
Also.
Okay, so you've broken through a major barrier there. Then we get into the famous category channels with 1 million subscribers or more. What kind of AdSense are they pulling in?
Yeah, the Million Plus Club. For those channels, the AdSense revenue alone can range from, say, $10,000 up to even $100,000 per month.
10 to 100 grand a month.
It's ads.
Just ads. But what's really fascinating here is at this level, individual videos can also command huge amounts, like $20,000 to $50,000, maybe even more, through other monetization methods.
Wow.
Yeah, these creators, they often have multiple channels, really strong personal brands. They're essentially running their own media outlets at that point. Right, they're not just uploading videos anymore. They're like, mini media empires.
Totally.
And then, way up at the very top, you have the YouTube stars. 50 million subscribers and up. What kind of, what are the numbers like there?
Oh, at that level, the earnings are just astronomical. We're talking annual incomes well into the tens of millions of dollars.
Tens of millions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The article mentions there are only about 30 channels in the whole world with over 50 million subscribers.
Only 30?
Roughly, yeah. These are the absolute superstars of YouTube, and their income reflects that massive, massive reach and influence. The figures we see there, they're not just about viral videos anymore. It's about building entire brands and businesses around that YouTube presence.
It's mind-boggling to even think about those numbers.
It really is.
But, as the article rightly points out, AdSense, even though it's foundational, it's really just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Especially for the bigger channels. What are some of the other big ways creators make money?
Oh, yeah. Diversification is absolutely key if you want to maximize income. A huge one is affiliate marketing.
Right. Promoting products.
Exactly. Creators recommend relevant products or services. They put special affiliate links in their video descriptions, and then they earn a commission.
What kind of commission are we talking?
It varies a lot, but often somewhere between 5% and 50% on any sales that come through their link.
50%. Wow.
Yeah, it can be significant. And interestingly, while YouTube itself has like a built-in affiliate feature feature that requires 15,000 subs.
Okay.
Lots of creators with smaller but really engaged audiences actually make good money through independent affiliate programs outside of YouTube's system.
That makes perfect sense. If you've got that super focused audience that trusts you in a specific niche,
Exactly.
even fewer viewers could drive real sales.
Yeah.
What about creators selling their own stuff, like merchandise?
Oh yeah, personal merch is another really popular, often very lucrative route. It can be, the standard stuff, t-shirts, mugs, stickers with logos or catchphrases, things that connect with their community. But it can also be more specialized products tied to their content. The article mentions Kimono Mom, for example.
Oh, yeah? What does she sell?
Her own brand of umami sauce and even some kitchen appliances.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah. So when a creator builds that strong connection, selling directly to their fans can be super effective and profitable. It builds that direct relationship.
Definitely. And then there's the more direct fan support, right? Like channel memberships and crowdfunding things.
Yep. Channel memberships on YouTube itself let viewers pay a monthly fee directly to the creator.
And they get perks.
Exactly. Things like members-only videos, special emojis, or super stickers for chats, maybe priority replies and comments or live streams.
Okay. Does YouTube take a cut of that?
They do. YouTube takes 30% of the membership revenue.
30%. Okay.
Which is why a lot of creators also use third-party platforms like Patreon. There they can set up different support tiers with various exclusive goodies.
Right, like behind-the-scenes stuff or early access.
Exactly. Like the article mentions a gaming YouTuber, Josh Strife Hayes. He often lists his Patreon supporters' names at the end of his videos. It's a way to acknowledge that direct support.
That's a nice touch. That personal connection seems really crucial for those models.
It really does.
What about creators who are like experts in something? Can they leverage that beyond just videos?
Definitely. For many creators, their YouTube channel is basically a massive marketing engine for their other businesses.
Ah, interesting.
They build an audience by sharing valuable info in their field, and then they can offer, say, digital products like ebooks or online courses, or they might offer consulting, coaching, other professional services.
Like who? Any examples?
Well, think of someone like Neil Patel, huge YouTube presence talking about SEO and digital marketing.
Right, I'm there.
He uses that platform incredibly effectively to support and grow his wider range of business services and tools. So YouTube becomes this powerful lead generator, not just a direct income source.
Right, right. It feeds the main business. That's smart.
Very smart.
And then, of course, the big one. Brand sponsorships. This is where some serious money can be made, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Brand sponsorships, paid promotions, product placements right in the videos, longer-term partnerships. These can be extremely lucrative.
How much are we talking? Does it vary a lot?
It varies hugely. It depends on tons of factors. The creator's overall influence and reach, obviously, but also the specific niche they're in, how engaged their audience is, and just the scope of the collaboration. Like, is it one video mention or a whole campaign?
Right.
And what's interesting is even creators with smaller but super engaged audiences in specific niches, they can command pretty significant fees because they offer brands direct access to a really targeted demographic.
Yeah, that makes sense. Quality over just quantity sometimes.
Exactly. The article mentions Riverside, the platform we're using, partnering with Premier Gale as an example. Brands recognize the value of reaching these engaged communities through authentic creator voices.
It really is this complex, interconnected web of income streams, isn't it?
Totally. It's not just one thing.
Now, the article also digs into some key factors beyond just the number of views that really impact how much a YouTuber can earn. Let's look at some of those. Like, video length seems like an obvious one.
Yeah, video length is interesting. Longer videos generally give you more opportunities to place ads, especially those mid-roll ads.
Which pay better sometimes.
They can, yeah, but there's a crucial balance. You have to maintain audience engagement.
Ah, right.
Because if you make your video super long just to stuff in more ads, but people click away before they even see them, it's counterproductive.
Totally defeats the purpose.
Right. And on the flip side, sometimes shorter, punchier videos can actually be better for attracting new viewers and growing your channel faster. So it's really a strategic choice. Depends on your content, your audience, your goals.
Makes sense. You can't just game the system by making everything 2 hours long if nobody watches.
Exactly.
What about the actual type of content? Does that matter for earnings?
Oh, absolutely. Think about evergreen content.
Evergreen, like timeless stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like how-to videos, tutorials, informational stuff that stays relevant and searchable for a long time. Think like how to change your car battery.
Right. people search for that stuff years later.
Precisely. Those videos can generate consistent ad revenue for ages after they're published. They often get higher average watch times, too, which helps with ad impressions.
Okay, so evergreen is good for long-term income. What's the opposite?
Well, think about more time-sensitive stuff, like reaction videos, podcasts on current events, live streams about something happening right now.
Okay, big spike initially, then fades.
Exactly. They might get a huge burst of views right away, build buzz, connect with the community, which is great, but they often lose relevance and searchability pretty quickly.
So less long-term ad money from that specific video.
Generally, yeah. So, how to change a tire versus my live reaction to last night's award show, different earning profiles.
Gotcha. So enduring content, enduring revenue, makes sense. What about the specific niche a creator is in and who their audience actually is? Demographics.
Hugely influential, incredibly important. Certain niches, especially things like finance, tech, business, they tend to attract advertisers willing to pay higher rates.
Why is that?
Because they want to reach a specific, often more affluent audience interested in those topics. So that means better CPC and CPM for creators in those niches.
Okay. So finance YouTubers might earn more per view than, say, comedy YouTubers.
Potentially, yeah. Broader appeal niches like cooking, travel vlogs, general humor, they might have lower average RPMs.
Interesting.
And the audience demographics themselves matter, too. Like a gaming channel might have a huge audience, but if it's mostly younger viewers...
They might not click ads or buy stuff.
Exactly. They might be less likely to engage with ads or have the disposable income for sponsored products compared to, say, an audience interested in investment strategies. So the same number of views can lead to very different earnings depending on the niche and who's watching.
That's a really, really important point. And the article also mentions the location of the audience matters, too.
Yes, definitely. Where your viewers are geographically is a big factor for ad revenue. Advertisers typically pay more to reach viewers in regions considered high spending, like North America, Western Europe.
Okay. So views from the US or UK might pay more than views from other places.
Often, yes. But the overall size of the market also matters. The US has a lot of high-paying users, sure, but a market like India has way more active YouTube users overall.
So it's a balance.
It is, and it highlights why reaching a global audience can be so beneficial. Which brings us back to things like subtitles.
Right, making your content accessible globally.
Exactly. Offering subtitles in multiple languages can seriously expand your reach and therefore your potential earnings. The article even mentions Riverside's automatic caption and subtitle feature in over 100 languages.
Yeah, that's super helpful for creators.
Makes that crucial step way easier.
It all connects, doesn't it? Wider reach, more potential revenue, even if the per-view rate varies. Okay, let's shift gears to the really fascinating part. The article gives us a peek into the absolute stratosphere of YouTube earnings. Profiles some top earners. Let's start with Mr. Beast. The numbers are just wild.
Yeah, Mr. Beast. Something like 314 million subscribers now, often called the king of YouTube.
Right. And the income estimate?
The article estimates around $700 million annually.
$700 million a year.
It's jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
His content, those huge challenges, the philanthropy, it just resonates massively worldwide. And it's interesting, he's also huge on TikTok. Shows how these platforms connect.
Absolutely insane numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's Jeffree Star. Significantly fewer subs than Mr. Beast, right?
Sure.
But still a massive income figure. How does that work?
Yeah, Jeffree Star, about 15.8 million subs. Estimated income around $200 million annually.
Still huge.
It's huge. But a massive chunk of that wealth comes not just from YouTube ads, but from his cosmetics company.
Jeffree Star Cosmetics.
Exactly. Apparently that brings in around $100 million in annual revenue on its own.
Wow. So half his estimated income is from the business YouTube helped build.
Pretty much. It's a perfect example of leveraging the platform to build a brand and then diversify into products. Really shows you can't just rely on ad income at that level.
It's a fantastic case study in building a business around your online presence, not just on it.
Totally.
And finally, like Nastia, she's quite young, right?
Yeah.
But huge earnings from kid-focused content.
Yeah, like Nastia. Around 120 million subscribers. The estimate is about $106 million annually.
100 million for kids content.
Yep. family-friendly stuff, toy reviews, educational videos. Her channel is consistently ranked as one of the most profitable kids channels globally, maybe the most profitable.
I think right.
Her success just shows the immense potential in certain niches, especially if you can tap into that large, engaged family audience.
It's truly remarkable, such different paths to the top. Okay, the article also has a really useful FAQ section, addresses common questions people have. Let's run through a few quickly. Like, who is the highest paid YouTuber right now?
According to the article, projecting for 2024, that title goes to Mr. Beast. $700 million annual income.
Mind-blowing, okay. And can creators really make decent money from those channel memberships or Patreon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. YouTube's own memberships, plus platforms like Patreon. They're really valuable ways for dedicated fans to support creators directly with monthly subscriptions.
In exchange for perks and stuff?
Exactly. Exclusive content, early access, whatever the creator offers. For creators with a strong community, that can become a really significant, reliable income stream.
Good to know. What about YouTube Premium? People pay to not see ads. Does that hurt creators?
Nope, not at all, actually. Creators still earn revenue from premium subscribers. It's based on how much watch time their content gets from those premium users.
Oh, interesting. So they still get paid, just differently.
Exactly. Even though the premium user isn't seeing ads on that video, the creator gets compensated for their viewing time. It all contributes.
That's good to clarify. What about shorts versus regular videos? Is the money different there? People seem confused about that.
Yeah, they're monetized differently. Shorts have their own dedicated Shorts fund.
It's a lot of money.
Kinda, yeah. It's funded by ads shown between Shorts videos in the feed. Then that fund gets distributed to eligible Shorts creators based on performance and views, not the direct ad share model like regular long-form videos.
Okay, so different system entirely. Got it. And the big question. Someone hits 1 million subscribers. What can they realistically expect to earn per year?
Yeah.
Is there like a number?
Well, the article gives a huge hypothetical range. Like, if every single sub watched every weekly video, maybe close to $1 million annually.
But that's not realistic.
Not at all. The more realistic figures cited are somewhere between, say, $40,000 and maybe $500,000 per year for a channel with 1 million subs.
40,000 to 500,000. That's a massive range.
It's huge. And it really just hammers home how important all those other factors are. How often you upload, how engaged the audience is, the demographics, the niche, all that stuff we talked about.
Right.
So hitting 1 million subs is amazing, yeah, but it's just one piece of the earnings puzzle. It's definitely not a guaranteed number.
Not a golden ticket then.
Yeah.
Okay, another common one. What about hitting a specific goal, like maybe $2,000 a month? How many subs do you need for that?
Well, the article suggests that just from ad revenue, getting $2,000 a month probably needs somewhere around 400,000 to 800,000 monthly views.
400 to 800,000 views a month.
Okay. But, and this is crucial, that's just ads, like we discussed, affiliate marketing, brand deals. Those can add a lot more.
Right. You could make that with fewer views potentially.
Exactly. With good brand deals or effective affiliate strategies, even channels with way fewer subs, maybe like 15,000 or 20,000, if they're super engaged in the right niche, could potentially hit that $2,000 a month mark.
Wow. Okay.
It really shows the power of diversifying beyond just relying on those ad checks.
It truly does underscore how multifaceted this whole online income thing is.
Yeah.
And finally, the big picture question overall is being a YouTuber, like a high-paying job.
The article gives a pretty clear answer, but maybe a sobering one for some. While the absolute top creators, yeah, they earn millions, the vast majority of people making videos earn very little or nothing at all.
Back to that first statistic.
Exactly. It highlights again that only that tiny fraction, like 0.3%, even gets to 100,000 subscribers, which is often seen as that first major milestone towards maybe earning a real income.
Right.
So the potential for huge earnings, it's definitely there. But it's an incredibly competitive field, super challenging, and only a very small percentage actually achieve significant financial success. Really brings us full circle.
It certainly does. Brings us right back to that surprising reality check at the start.
Cool.
So, okay, to kind of wrap up our deep dive here.
Right.
It's super clear that making real sustainable money on YouTube is, well, it's complicated.
Yeah, multi-layered is a good word.
It's not just about getting views, even though views matter. It's understanding channel size, audience engagement, really strategically diversifying your income way beyond just AdSense. It's knowing your content, your niche, your audience's demographics, even where they live. And ultimately, for the successful ones, it's often about running it like a media business, not just being a hobbyist creator.
Exactly. And like we saw with Mr. Beast and Jeffree Star, those huge numbers at the top, it's often about building massive brands and diverse business models, not just viral hits.
It's a tough world out there.
Yeah.
Super competitive. The rewards can be immense for a tiny few, but the reality for most people trying, it's much, much harder.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting to think about is how all these different income streams and all these factors we talked about, how they actually intersect and end up creating such wildly different career paths for creators.
That's a fantastic point to leave people with. Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? Which parts of this were most surprising to you? Or, has this changed how you look at the whole creator economy? Maybe you think about some of your favorite YouTubers. How are they likely putting all these pieces together?
Yeah, good food for thought.
Definitely. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.